Welcome back to Melvin's Tales from Venice Barbershop. I'm John. I think I'm still John. I'm still here. The shop is still here. The parking lot is still here. But I'm not sure what else is here with us. Because Melvin came to me with something that made the crow situation seem normal. He said, "The crows aren't the only things living in the parking lot." I asked him what he meant, and he said, "I've been documenting activity in the parking lot, movement patterns, sounds, shadows, and there are other things out there, things that only appear at certain times, things that don't behave like animals or people." I told him he was seeing things, but Melvin said, "No, I have footage. I've been recording the parking lot at night, and there are entities out there. I don't know what they are, but they're there." He showed me the footage. It was recorded at 11:47 p.m. last Tuesday. The parking lot was empty. Just asphalt, street lights, shadows. Then, at 11:52 p.m., something moved across the frame. It wasn't walking. It wasn't crawling. It was gliding, like it was floating an inch above the ground. It moved from one end of the parking lot to the other in complete silence. No footsteps, no sound, just smooth, effortless movement. Then it stopped, and it just stood there, motionless, for 17 minutes. I asked Melvin what it was, and he said, "I don't know, but it comes back every night, same route, same 17-minute pause, then it leaves." Now I'm watching the parking lot more closely during the day, and I'm starting to see things. Shadows that don't match the objects casting them. Movement in my peripheral vision that disappears when I look directly at it. Sounds that don't have a source. A scraping. A shuffling. A presence. Melvin said, "I think the parking lot is a threshold, a place where things can cross over. The crows are the most visible, but there are others. Things that exist in the gaps. Things that only appear when conditions are right." I asked him what conditions, and he said, time, temperature, light levels, Wi-Fi signal strength. I've been tracking all of it, and there's a pattern. The entities appear most frequently between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., when the temperature drops below 65 degrees, when the streetlights flicker, and when the Wi-Fi signal dips below 50%. He showed me his spreadsheet. Of course he had a spreadsheet. Dates, times, environmental conditions, entity descriptions, behavior patterns. The data was meticulous and terrifying. According to Melvin, there are at least 4 distinct entities that appear regularly in the parking lot. He's named them based on their behavior. Because that's what you do when you discover creatures that shouldn't exist. You give them names. You categorize them. You pretend you understand them. The first one is the glider. That's the one I saw in the footage. It appears every night at 11:52 p.m., glides across the parking lot, stops for 17 minutes, then leaves. Melvin has no idea what it's doing during those 17 minutes. It just stands there, motionless, watching, or waiting, or listening. We don't know. The second one is the circler. It appears around 1:30 a.m. and walks in perfect circles around the perimeter of the parking lot. Melvin timed it. Each circle takes exactly 4 minutes and 12 seconds. It completes 7 circles, then disappears. Not walks away, not leaves, disappears. The third one is the stacker. It appears around 2:15 a.m. and rearranges objects in the parking lot. Trash cans, rocks, sticks. It stacks them into precise, geometric patterns. Melvin documented one night where it built a perfect pyramid out of 17 rocks in under 3 minutes. By morning, the rocks were scattered again, like nothing had happened. The fourth one is the watcher. It doesn't move. It just stands at the edge of the parking lot, near the tree line, and stares at the barbershop. Melvin said it appears randomly, but always between midnight and 2 a.m. It never moves, never makes a sound, just watches, and we don't know what it's watching for. I asked Melvin if he thought they were dangerous, and he said, "I don't know. They don't interact with people. They don't approach the building. They just exist. They do their thing, and then they leave. But I don't know what happens if someone interrupts them. Now I'm terrified to go to the parking lot at night. I'm terrified to take out the trash after dark. I'm terrified to look out the window after closing, because I know they're out there, doing their routines, following their patterns, existing in the spaces we're not supposed to see. One night, I had to stay late to finish some paperwork. It was around midnight. I heard something outside, a scraping sound, like something being dragged across asphalt. Slow, deliberate, purposeful. I looked out the window, and I saw the stacker. It was arranging trash cans into a pattern. 3 cans in a triangle, perfectly spaced, perfectly aligned, like it was performing a ritual, or solving a puzzle, or building something we couldn't understand. I watched it for 5 minutes. It moved with precision, no hesitation, no wasted movement, every action deliberate, every placement exact. When it finished, it stepped back, observed its work for several seconds, then walked away, not toward the street, not toward the tree line. It just walked into the darkness and disappeared, like it stepped through a door that wasn't there. The next morning, the trash cans were back in their normal positions, like nothing had happened, like the entire night had been reset. Melvin said, "They reset. Every morning, the parking lot resets. Whatever they do at night, it's undone by morning. Like the parking lot has 2 states, day state and night state, and we're only seeing the day state." I asked him what he thought they wanted, and he said, "I don't think they want anything. I think they're just doing what they do. Like the crows. They exist here. They have routines. They follow patterns. And we're just coexisting with them, sharing the same space, but existing in different times." But then Melvin found something that changed everything. He was reviewing footage from last week, and he saw something new, a 5th entity. It appeared at 2:47 a.m., and it didn't follow a pattern. It didn't glide. It didn't circle. It didn't stack. It walked directly toward the barbershop. It stopped at the front door, and it tried the handle. The door was locked. The entity stood there for 3 minutes, testing the handle, pulling, pushing, trying to get in. Then it stepped back, and it looked directly at the security camera, like it knew it was being watched, like it knew we were watching. Melvin said, "That one's different. That one's aware. And that one wants to get inside." I asked him what we should do, and he said, "Nothing. We keep the doors locked at night. We don't go outside after dark. And we hope it loses interest." But last night, I checked the footage. The 5th entity came back. Same time, 2:47 a.m. It tried the door again, and this time, it didn't leave after 3 minutes. It stayed for 27 minutes, just standing at the door, waiting, or learning, or planning. Melvin said, "It's learning. It's figuring out our patterns. And I think eventually it's going to find a way in." So now we're watching the footage every morning, checking the timestamps, documenting the 5th entity's behavior, and every night it comes back. Same time, 2:47 a.m., and every night it stays a little longer. Last night it was there for 34 minutes. The night before, 27. The night before that, 19. It's escalating. It's increasing its time at the door, and we don't know what happens when it decides to stop waiting. Melvin asked me, "What do you think it wants?" I said, "I don't know, but I think it wants what's inside. I think it wants the shop, or us, or whatever's happening here that makes this place different from everywhere else. Melvin said, maybe it wants to understand. Maybe it's curious. Maybe it's been watching us the same way we've been watching it. And now it wants to cross the threshold. It wants to move from the parking lot into the shop, from the night state into the day state. I asked him what happens if it gets in, and he said, I don't know. But I think we'll find out soon. Because it's not going to stop. It's going to keep coming back. And eventually, we're going to make a mistake. We're going to forget to lock a window, or leave a door propped open, or stay too late. And it's going to be there, waiting. So now, we lock everything. Every door, every window. We check them twice before we leave. We set alarms. We watch the footage every morning, and we hope that's enough. We hope the locks hold. We hope the doors stay closed. We hope the fifth entity loses interest. But I don't think it will. I think it's patient. I think it has all the time in the world. And I think eventually it's going to find a way in. If you're in Venice, Florida, stop by the shop. We're right off US 41, next to the courthouse. We're open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturdays 10 to 2. Walk-ins only. The parking lot has things in it at night. We don't go out there after dark anymore. We don't recommend you do either. The parking lot is complicated. The night is tricky. But your grooming routine doesn't have to be. This has been Melvin's Tales from Venice Barbershop. I'm John. I'm still here. The shop is still here. The parking lot is still here. And so are they. The glider, the circler, the stacker, the watcher, and the fifth one. The one that wants to get inside. Stay dapper. Stay inside after closing. Seriously.